welcome everybody back to Holliston High School Girls Varsity Soccer here in the 2025 season. And we're back with your broadcast of girls varsity soccer here in Holliston High with the Holliston Hub, your near and dear to everybody's heart. I'm your host, John Drohan, and I'll be calling the game today. Holliston is taking on Norwood, the Norwood Panthers, the Norwood Mustangs, which is my old high school. We were Mustangs back in Connecticut. And I'm sure I'm going to mess that up throughout the course of the day, but I'll do my best to try and not call the Holliston Panthers the Holliston Mustangs, even though I feel like that's a home team. Okay, welcome everybody. As I said, we are brought to you by Holliston Hub. We have the Holliston Hub. They are here with me today, so they're going to be helping me out. Lindsay, I wanted her to be mic'd in. Maybe she will be later on. I'll see if I can coax her in. And of course, we're here with Bruce Guilfoy is also managing the entire operation. The press box that we were in tonight is, I hear it is B-free because it was we had missed. This is the first broadcast of the season. However, it is not the first game of the season, not even the first home game of the season, because of some insect issues here in the press box. But I think those issues have been rectified, and we're about to go underway. Okay. And of course, that's right. Of course, where's my sponsor list? Oh, here it is, right here. All right. So, and today's game is brought to you by some of our local town business here, sponsored by none other than the Henry Studio, the Holliston Superette, Basil's Pizza and Subs, Central Cafe, and a small little financial outfit called Main Effort Financial. We'll be talking about all those generous sponsors and having the game as the game is now underway. Holliston, of course, is in their crimson red, their home red, and Norwood is in the visiting white. So here we go. Holliston, of course, is going from north to south, actually northeast to southwest, and Norwood heading in the opposite direction, of course. All right, so here comes Holliston up front, and there's none other than, yep, that's her. That's number 22. That's Kate McCarron, sophomore sensation. Had one of the most prolific breakout freshman years that we've seen in Holliston High in quite some time. So Kate McCarron, she's the anchor up front. She's the striker, and Holliston's earned a corner early on. Taking this corner looks like Caitlin Clark, also a senior. Clark, ball in, tries to find McCarron's head, can't. Ball's up. Oh, it hits the crossbar. And another header. And that hits the post. Oh, Holliston with two near shots. I didn't see who caught the second rebound that hit the post, but for the first action of the game, a crossbar and a post shot. Not a good sign for Holliston because those are two great opportunities. Norwood got lucky on that, and a nice play by the Norwood keeper. Let's see who she is. We'll find her. Oh, there it is. That's Reagan Coran is the keeper for Norwood. She did a nice job finally covering that up. So Holliston, the Holliston starting, of course, in the back is senior year. The goalkeeper is, of course, Kira Lucas. Kira's been the starting keeper now. This is her third season starting for Holliston. So Kira's been the anchor back there in front of the goal. Also, we have the other senior, Claire Fitzgerald, who's playing in the back. Claire Fitzgerald is a 4-year starter here at Holliston, has done an exceptional job. And here we go. Some new faces here, too. Another sophomore sensation who had a great breakout year as a freshman is Lauren Mulvaney. Here's McCarron. McCarron still on. Looks like she's there. And McCarron with a shot at the goal. And McCarron's going to score easily. And there it is, the first goal for Holliston. McCarron's able to get a hold of it. Keeper Coran came out, and she wasn't able to get there fast enough. And Kate McCarron was able to get around. So Kate McCarron's house is on the board early in the 3rd minute and leads Norwood by a score of 1-0. So as we said, the Holliston Hub is now have sponsors, like active real sponsors that sponsor the games. So we'll be discussing them, kind of what they do throughout the course of this game and throughout all of the fall sports. And very And here's the thing. We'll talk a little bit later on about Holliston Hub and kind of the importance of what those sponsorships and the importance of your generosity at the Holliston Hub in order to keep this operation going. So we'll talk about that as the game progresses. So back underway, and looks like Holliston pushes off, and that looks like that's number 13. That's Hannah Holden. Hannah Holden, of course, is a 3-year. This is her 3rd year. She's a junior, 3-year starter. There's Clark on the outside. Caitlin Clark trying to make space, and a nice play by the Norwood defender is able to clear it, and goes out. It's going to be a Holliston throw. It's Chloe Buckley throwing it in. Chloe Buckley is a sophomore, number 12. She finds Holden, and Holden with a quick throw in. She's trying to find Mulvaney up front. There's Mulvaney. Mulvaney gets around it, gets across. Someone's there, and no one's there. Oh, McCarron got crossed up. She was a little too far forward. Fitzgerald coming up and taking a shot. Not a lot on it. And it's cleared. It's going to be a goal kick for Norwood. Norwood, an early substitution. Some other juniors on the field playing in the that holding midfield is Ellie Granfors. Holliston doing some damage. There's Mulvaney. Buckley. Buckley looks in, tries to find McCarron, and she's got her. Karen with a nice move on the outside, gets around her defender and shoots. And McCarron just misses across the front of the goal. Karen liked to have that one back. She didn't get a lot on. Hit it with her left foot and just didn't get enough on it and pushed it across the front of the goal. So Holliston with doing some damage early, spending a lot of time threatening in the Norwood end. So that's Utke. Utke looks across. There's McCarron. Fitzgerald up. Fitzgerald with a cross, and she's wide. So Holliston playing very aggressive with their defenders coming up. So Fitzgerald on that left-hand side came out. It's two pushing forward. It looks Coach Chadsey has changed things up a little bit, trying to be a little bit more aggressive on trying to take advantage of maybe some opportunities he sees. Talking to Coach Chadsey before the game, Coach said a lot of, the way things have kind of changed and updated and in high school sports, just so many things on people's plates. McCarron again, inside, it bounces, and a shot cross. Nice play. And a nice save by Curran. Curran's getting a workout early. But how Coach Chadsey was saying how there's just a lot of pressure seemingly on a lot of these high school athletes just because of the time commitment that it takes to be able to play at this level, the time commitment it takes to be able to sustain your grades, and then kind of all of the other, pressures for teenagers these days. It just seems to be amplified more and more. So Coach Chadsey does her best to try and keep everybody on an even keel, keep it fun, right? Because that's what playing sports is supposed to be. It's supposed to be competitive. Yeah, it's more fun when you win, but it's still fun. So Holliston pushing up the left side. That's Utke again. There's Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald looked across, trying to find somebody. Nobody's there. Mulvaney's not there. Sophie Grant, sophomore Sophie Grant playing on the outside. Nice play, pushes back. That's Nora McGelliot. Nora McGelliot, sophomore sensation again. So Coach Ed was talking about her sophomore showing up. Lucas coming way out. Nora with trouble. Then Lucas is going to get it handed to her. Lucas looked like she might have been Holliston looked a little confused back there. Lucas trying to get to the ball but couldn't, and then got lucky and got delivered easily from Norwood. Clark on the outside, pushed overhead, but it's going to be a Norwood throw. Got to meet Coach Brandon Deanan, for the coach of the Norwood Mustangs earlier today. Coach Deanan is very happy with his team. Said the team hustles, plays hard. They do a good job of controlling the ball, so we'll see if they can do that here against Holliston. It looks like they're trying to really pressing. And it looked like that was it might have been a little bit of a handball. So on the right-hand side, we mentioned Chloe Buckley. So in the back, Holliston playing their traditional 4 across with Grand Fours hanging way back. Chloe Buckley. Nora McGelliot is playing that center back, or one of the center backs. Fitzgerald will be playing on the left side. And Sophie Grant, the other center back. Mulvaney trying to get a hold of it, can't. Holden's right there, and here comes a foot race. Norwood player, looks like that's number 14, Megan Malloy. Malloy's there. She can't get a hold of it. Holden pushes it forward, tries to keep it in, and it's going to be a Holliston throw. 10 minutes in, Holliston leads 1-0 on an early Kate McCarron goal. Kate McCarron, only a sophomore, so she's got lot more time left here in Holliston to do damage. There she is. Nice turn on the outside. Nice ball across. Who's there? Right there. Great feed. Mulvaney gets the ball across. And right there, Utke's there to finish. Bella Utke with great finish one time on a super ball across from Lauren Mulvaney. So Holliston leads an early lead, 2-0 at the 10-minute mark. So Holliston doing damage early. McCarron at 10, McCarron at the 3-minute and Mutke at 10. Holliston leads commanding 2-0 lead, and Norwood doesn't seem to have an answer, and Fitzgerald's there, and here comes the pressure again. Holden forward to Clark. Clark on the outside. She takes a shot. Coran's there. The ball bounces out, and it's cleared. Nice play by the Norwood defender. Buckley's there. She fights for it. And pressure. McGelliot pushes up. The Norwood throw. McGelliot really pushes, and gets called for it. So unfortunately, this game is I'm calling this game by myself because my partner in crime is currently on the injured reserve list, but he will be back. That, of course, my father-in-law, John Marshall, who is the patriarch of Holliston soccer, one of the founding members of the Holliston Youth Soccer Association back in the early 70s. Talking to Claire Fitzgerald, Dad, earlier, he was telling me about how his father, Tom Fitzgerald, was one of those guys. Worked with John Marshall to start up this soccer world here in Holliston way back when Bruce Guilfoyle was, telling stories about how he almost could have went to Woodstock, but he was only 7 years old or something like that. I don't know. There was some kind of throwback conversation, but yeah, that Tom Fitzgerald was part of that group. Long ball in, and Lucas is there to field the pop fly. Pushes it out to Buckley, and there goes Buckley up. Buckley runs into trouble, but McGelliott's there to help. Clark back helping. I like the way so far what I see, and again, this is Holliston. This is in their first game, so they're several games into the season, and this is what Coach Chadsey was saying, that they feel like they're settling down. They're had some tough losses early against some good squads, but They seem to settle down. Nice ball across, trying to find Fitzgerald. What a great ball. That's a second great ball we've seen Mulvaney push out there. She sends it all the way across Fitzgerald, and now there's trouble on that side, but stuffed by Norwood. As we said, today's sponsor, we'll start with the first sponsor. That's the Henry Studio, which is, of course, arguably one of the most sought after and prestigious photographers of of our age. So the Henry Studio, if you ever go to the Main Effort Financial website, all those pictures were taken by the Henry Studio. Holliston pressing again. That, of course, is that photographer we're talking about is Rich Powers, longtime member and devotee and volunteer here at the Holliston Hub. Was on the board for many years. Did some great work here to make the group formerly known as HCAT, now the Holliston Hub, into what they are today. So. And if you ever want to, and that's the thing about photography, right? The thing about photography is like people think, everybody takes pictures. I can take pictures with my phone, this and that. But there's something, when you have a real photographer that can see it, it's different. And Rich has that gift. Ball comes in. Mulvaney's there, but doesn't get enough on it and goes right to Krantz. So Holliston still pressing, up 2-0. Norwood trying to get something going. Be able to crack that hollow, but again, it's that precious. They try and launch one long down the right side. It's a foot race, and Lucas is there. And that is a technique to try and just keep the ball, launch the ball out of the end, and maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe one of the Holliston defenders will make a mistake. Goalkeeper will zig when she should instead zag and possibly be able to get a break. But right now, Norwood can't seem to put anything together. And Holliston pressing. I think Holliston going to bring in some subs. There's Grand Fours. Grand Fours fights, loses it, and on the outside, that's Grant. Grant pushes back. Holden inside. Utke, the second goal. So as ball comes up, there's Norwood, but a lot of red jerseys back there. Clark fights on the outside. Almost has some space. Nice play. That's number 6. That's Madison Bartuka defending against Clark. Does a good job to keep a nice ball forward. She's on. Norwood tries to get the ball across. She can't get enough on it, and it's cleared. Almost cleared. And it looks like Norwood's going to earn their first corner. Holliston almost scored on the first corner of the game. Hit the crossbar and the right post. Here comes Norwood to take their first corner. It's a tough place to take a corner as Lucas seems like she's looking directly into the sun. Everybody's shading the sun with their hands down in front of that goal. Ball low in. Not a bad ball in at all, but unable to connect, and it goes out. It's going to be a goal kick. Oh, correction. Looks like we're going to do this corner again. It looked like that was a Norwood player, but it was a Holliston player. All right, try this again from the left-hand side. Norwood corner lining up. Ball in low, right to Lucas. It bounced off her hand. She falls. No whistle. She's back up. And cleared. Here comes McCarron. McCarron can run. It's cleared out, and it's going to be a Holliston throw. McCarron trying to get it in quick. Looking for Mulvaney. McCarron back to Mulvaney. She looks in. Holden was there. Grant, McElliott fighting. And there's Buckley. She launched it forward and they reset. 17 minutes in, Holliston leads 2-0. So as I said, my partner in crime, he should be back before the next game. I know that he has a lot of fans out there. I know he's okay. He's, as I said, he's on the injured reserve, but he's almost in full recovery. A little bout with COVID. I mean, everybody talks about COVID. COVID's still around. That's not as disastrous and deadly as it was when it first came, but it's still there, and it's not something to shake a stick at. So get your COVID shot. Make sure that you don't skimp on that. Just a little public service announcement here from the Holliston Hub. Okay, Holliston fighting down the end. We have some subs coming in. Looks like that might be Emerson Arsenal, number 2. Hard to see. Let's see what I can see in there now. Looks like Sedona Cicerella, number 15, is in. Playing that attacking mid. Fitzgerald's still there. Caitlin Clark is still there. Looks like McCarron sitting down. Looks like that's number 6, Maureen Malvey, in the strike position. So Malvey chases. Still down, still pressing on Norwood. Looks like number 2, Emerson Arsenault's in as well, as I said. There's Arsenault fighting on the far side. Fitzgerald gets it taken off her. Holden's there to clean it up. Holden pushes back, resets, but it goes forward. Grant pushes it forward. And again, Holliston's still always on the attack. There's Fitzgerald again. Inside, Fitzgerald breaks free, takes to the right side, trying to... Nice move on Claire Fitzgerald, puts it across. Can't do it. Cicerella on the outside. She can't handle, but Holliston's going to retain possession. Arsenal. Just couldn't get a hold of it. That was Fitzgerald on the outside. Couldn't connect with it. Just gets up slowly, but Claire Fitzgerald, she's a member of the Holliston Community Action Fund. One of the Holliston Community Action Fund leaders this year. Our student division. So she's not allowed to get hurt. It's part of the deal. Part of her contract here at Holliston Panther Soccer, as well as Holliston Community Action Fund. Same thing with Lindsay. You're not allowed to get hurt. You are too valuable a player. So don't be afraid. I'm talking to you guys right now. Don't be afraid. If she needs to rest, like rest a day, that's part of it. Yeah, it's a long season. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Long ball forward. Once again, Holliston's going to retain possession. 20 minutes in, so we're halfway to the halfway. Always fun to say. Here in this match, Holliston with a commanding 2-0 lead, and really no real threat so far from Norwood, with Holliston pretty much spending most of the time in the Norwood end. Some more Holliston hubs, some more hubs coming in. Some Holliston subs coming back in. Alyssa Gabarino comes in, number 16. And it looks like that's number 5. It's hard to see. Emma and Emerson Arsenal. That looks like that's Emma Arsenal. So Emma Arsenal is a freshman. And Emerson Arsenal is a junior. I'm gathering, it kind of reminds me of my dad. I grew up with twin sisters, Kate and Carol. They're identical twins. And my dad couldn't tell them apart till they were 5 years old. he'd see one of them and say, Katie Carroll, come here. And they were trained to answer to either Kate or Carol, or Katie Carroll. My sisters, unfortunately now, I mean, not unfortunately, but my sisters are both kind of famous as they are both coaching at Northwestern. I coach Division I softball at Northwestern University. Been doing. My sister Kate's been the head coach now. This is her 24th year, winningest coach in Northwestern. Yeah. So my kids' sisters. This is what I got to deal with. Yep. They are rock stars in the softball world. Okay, Holliston corner. Speaking of rock stars, Maureen Malvey's going to take this. Malvey low ball hops and almost clear, almost stuffed, but cleared, and it's going to go off of Holliston. It's going to be a nice goal kick for Norwood. I say that about my sisters, but of course I'm very, very, very proud of them. And you know, as with all of our broadcasts, we always talk about softball. Softball comes up time and again, and we'll be talking about softball, both girls softball, which we just did, and now we'll talk about old man softball. As Holliston turns around, pushing forward again, and Holliston on the press. That's running on that outside. That's Cicerella. Nice move on the outside. Gets taken up. Nice play by that Norwood defender. Can't see her number. Norwood's numbers are a little hard to see because they're in yellow. Fitzgerald pushes forward again. She's got Holden. Holden fight in the middle. Holden's tough. Holden does such a good job of kind of holding that middle and that as that attacking mid, and owns that space. Does a good job of kind of maintaining her presence. There's always a lot of contact. That's one of those positions where you're always going to get hit. And she doesn't seem to bother her a bit. Push back, and Lucas going to take it with her left foot and send it forward. She's trying to find Emma Arsenal. There she is. Arsenal can't get a piece of it, but does, and gets taken over, and ball comes forward. Grand Force has something to say about that. Ellie Grand Force doing a good job, but she's that holding mid. So between Grand Force on the defensive side of the midfield and Holden on the attacking side of the midfield, Holliston looking strong in the middle, particularly today. That's Grant trying to get to break free. So Norwood's trying hard. It looks like we're going to get a free kick. It's going to be first Norwood free kick from space. See who's going to take this kick for Norwood. I'm going to guess and say this is number 19, C.C. Becker, but I could be wrong. So Becker from the free kick from about the 25-yard line. So we'll see if Becker's going to try and put this on goal. Shot launched a little bit. Oh, and nice save by Kira Lucas. That ball was floating on her. It was in that kind of in-between, in that no man's land where that ball's coming down and just could catch under it. And Kira Lucas was able to get her hand on at the crossbar. And a great save, because that ball looked like if she didn't touch it, that ball was going to go in and would have been a really, really, really good shot. Okay, that went over the crossbar, so it's going to be another Norwood corner. From the right side, ball up high. There's a fight for it, comes down, and it gets cleared. Fitzgerald looks like she cleared that. That's Malvey, Maureen Malvey fighting. Arsenal forward, Holden. Holden tries to go through traffic and is able to get through and breaks. There she goes. Holden gets free. She shoots and just wide. Holden had a look. She had Emerson Arsenal on the left side that was open, but Holden had a shot, and she did have a good shot, but he just wasn't able to connect with it and set it straight. Hit it hard, but just wide of the crossbar. Okay, our next sponsor, of course, is a small little establishment, like a newcomer company here in Holliston. I think just started up. A place called the Holliston Superette. I'm kidding. That's Holliston Superette has been here since when George Washington decided to drive down Washington Street. I think he might have stopped and got something to eat at the Holliston Superette. Talked to young Paul Guidi, who was the probably a child just then, because that was, of course, his parents owned that. So the Superette is a long-standing Holliston institution, just like Holliston girls soccer. On the outside, Arsenal gets to it. He's able to bring it back in, sends it across, but just inside. Holliston Superette, of course, is run by none other than the immortal, my dear friend Chris Lancini. He's your classic, like, moving up through the company ladder, as he was as a kid, worked at Holliston Superette, and then eventually when Paul retired, he said, "Hey kid, do you want to buy this?" And Lancini said, "Sure, I can make a sandwich as good as anybody, probably better than you." And that happened. We're going on almost 20 years now, where Chris has probably been the owner and operator of the Holliston Superette. Everybody knows him. Everybody likes him. I don't know if there's anybody I know that doesn't like that guy. Holliston forward. There's McCarron back in the game. McCarron gets around. McCarron shoots high. McCarron was at point-blank range and just sends it over the crossbar. She'd like to have that one back. She clobbered it. So, Holliston Superette is a proud sponsor of fall sports here at Holliston High School. Holliston Superette, of course, if you want to get something to eat, or if you need anything, they pretty much have it. And they arguably make the best sandwiches on this side of the Mississippi. Okay, here comes Norwood trying to push forward, and they do. Nice push to the outside. One of the Norwood players, Liliana Cordani, number 41. I don't know if she's out there right now. Again, I can't see. Nice push. Nice ball into. That was a good call by the referee, as McCarron was just offside. We could, if we had our VAR, our video assist, and we could see that McCarron. I'm looking at it right now. You can't see this on here. We just have it here. We're not able to simulcast that, but McCarron was absolutely offsides. I'm sure the McCarron was talking earlier with Kate McCarron's parents. None other than Tim and Lori McCarron, my dear friends. And, of course, they're very proud of Kate, who's the youngest of their children. All the McCarron children are exceptional athletes. And then, of course, Tim McCarron, who plays on downtown softball. Tim McCarron, who arguably, there's rumor that he could be, he just turned 50 last year before the season. Tim McCarron could be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He'll argue with that. He's very ball up. And just over the crossbar. Strong shot. That was Mulvaney. Hit it hard with her left foot. Had good velocity and good pace on it, but again, ball went high. So, as I said, the McCarron's a staple of athletic excellence here in Holliston, with Kate McCarron being the last McCarron. And as I said, Tim McCarron, outstanding athlete, played baseball at Boston College. But the rumor is, and again, this is I'm just going by what I hear. Don't shoot the messenger. That the best athlete, and I'm not, the kids may argue this. And there's McCarron. She's as offsides as McCarron looked like she was in Florida at that point, but she doesn't. She's arguing that call. I don't know if that's worth arguing here, but that the best athlete or I don't know about the best, but that perhaps the most outs, I don't know, however you want to say it, is none other than Lori McCarron, the mother of all those McCarron children and wife of Tim. So Lori McCarron, great softball player. We talked about trying to bring her. There's Kate on the outside, gets a free ball. She's going to take this one time, tries to send across. Norwood gets a piece of it. Back to McCarron. And Norwood player goes down hard and gets up a little gingerly. Looks like number 7, Ashley Weefer. Hard to see her number. She looks like she's okay. Yeah, she went down hard. That hurt. So that's a Holliston foul, so it's going to be Norwood free kick, and there we go. Ball goes forward. Goes off the head of McElliott, and we're going to do a throw-in. So Lori McCarron, outstanding athlete, outstanding, and we talked about potentially that ball kind of clicked that she'll entertain the idea of playing an old man softball. We have had females playing old man softball. Ball forward again. But Lori said, nope, Tim, you can go do that. And you know what? It's hard to blame her because she probably would be so bored. But she'd probably be really good. And there's been years when downtown could have used some really good. All right, back to soccer. Some Holliston subs coming in. Holliston with as we're winding down to the end of the first half, Holliston leading by a score of 2-0. Had a couple of other opportunities as well, but definitely in command of this game. Norwood, that said, Norwood's getting scrappy. Some good play by their keeper. She's had a couple of very nice saves. And here's the Holliston free from the outside. Long ball in, and there's Corinne. She's able to control it. Some good play by in front of the goal at point blank range. Some of those Norwood defenders were able to clear it with the Holliston attack coming in. So we'll see if Norwood can make some adjustments as we're winding down about just over 5 minutes left here in this first half. Ball comes up and catches a Norwood player in the face by her own teammate. And looks like she's going to be okay. I hope. And that's one of those things, you see it in every level, but I can't imagine the concussions that when you see the pros, both men and women, where they hit that, because you're talking about, at the highest level of professional soccer, those people, men and women, hit that ball so hard, and you're inadvertently get that hit in the side of your head or in the face because you're just, you're moving to the ball, you don't see it, and it happens. It seems like it happens every game, and they just seem to shake it off. It's truly remarkable. All right, as we're winding down the first half, ball just goes outside. She's able to keep it in, but it looks like it's going to be a corner. All right. Got a message here. Asked to show a shout out to Lauren Mulvaney's grandparents who are watching this live. Looks like they're watching this live from Arizona. This is Tom and Carol. So Tom and Carol, thanks for watching, joining us today all the way out in Arizona. Never met anybody from Arizona I didn't like. It's weird. It's like one of those weird states. Just everybody seems nice. And, of course, your granddaughter, Lauren Mulvaney, is playing well today. Kira Knight. Oh! So Lucas dives. Ball gets past her, but it just goes wide. So Norwood, with their first scoring opportunity, unable to connect as Lucas isn't able to get it. Just goes wide of the right crossbar, or of the right post. Yep, I know what the goal looks like. I know what a crossbar and I know the difference. Yeah, I can tell that right here. Looking at 2 goals. So, yeah, thanks for joining us today. Tom and Carol out in Arizona. Okay, Norwood trying to make something happen here at the end of the first half, and Lucas has something to say about that. Kira Lucas, strong left foot, sends it out to midfield, looking for McCarron. McCarron's able to turn it, and looks like it was might have been a handball, yeah. Holliston pushed it down. McCarron's looking for Clark on the outside. Clark's able to keep it. Clark still able to keep it. Nope, unable to get to it. Gets to the end. Okay, as we're winding down, just under 3. There's Holden, pushes it back out. It's got Buckley, and there's McCarron. McCarron fights. McCarron's still fighting. And McCarron, oh, looks like McCarron was fouled. Is she okay? I'll tell you what, that was some tactical, strategic soccer right there by Kate McCarron. So McCarron gets the foul, and she's going to get a direct kick right here from about the 15-yard line on the left side, on the right side. Ball across. Oh, Mulvaney was there. Tom and Carol almost saw Mulvaney connect with that one. She was right there. Great ball in by McCarron, just a little long. There's McCarron again. Pushed it forward, and looks like Holden was offside. They were holding her offside, and she was. Again, the alliteration, the play on words, all of that you hear during the broadcast, that's all part of the entertainment. It's all part of it. So that's all free. Ball up, and we're winding down here with just 2 minutes to go. Holliston trying to get something else, and they're pushing. Caitlin Clark is pressuring up front on the right-hand side and unable to run it down. She does. It's hard to see. There's the window here. So as I said, first half brought to you by your sponsors. We talked about the Henry Studio, Holliston Superette, Basil's Pizza and Subs, the Central Cafe, and Main Effort Financial are the 5 sponsors on this Holliston corner. Ball up, cross, right across. No one gave it a touch. Utke's there. She has too hard to touch. It gets pushed out. It's going to be Holliston throw. We're winding down. Just about out of time. Holliston leading Norwood by a score of 2-0 on a Kate McCarron goal and Bella Utke goal. Kate at the 3-minute mark and Utke at the 10. Here comes Norwood trying to push something. Ball pops up, and Lucas is there, and she's able to connect with it easily. Lucas is going to take her time trying to wind this thing out to get everybody to the second half. Long ball forward. McCarron, she's not going to waste any time. She's like, there's still time on the clock. I'm going to still try and push that ball forward. She does. McCarron breaks away, and that ball gets blown up. All right, so that's the end of the first half. Holliston leads Norwood by a score of 2-0. Please go ahead, take a break. Go, get something to eat. Some snacks. Maybe it's 1800 here or 6 p.m. here on the East Coast. I know some of you are in different time zones, so it might be you might have to put something in the oven. Go ahead, because we're going to have another 40 minutes of exciting soccer here coming back up. So, without further ado, don't go away. We'll be right back with Holliston High School girls soccer versus Norwood in the second half. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Holliston High School at Kamitian Field, where the Holliston Panthers lead the Norwood Mustangs by a score of 2-0. Switching sides, Holliston, their Crimson Red, is going to go from the southwest to the northeast. Norwood going from the northeast to the southwest. Norwood is in a bit of a hole right now because Holliston has pretty much controlled this game handily. The score's 2-0, but Holliston has absolutely kind of dominated this game. We have a change right now. It looks like that the Holliston goalkeeper is been changed out. So Kira Lucas is now is out, and we have, it looks like, number 77, Skylar McDonald, the sophomore, who's in the goal right now for Holliston. So Lucas is taking a break, and McDonald is in the goal. Skylar McDonald is the daughter, of course, none other than J-Mac. He is a Holliston senior softball legend. Plays for, of course, he plays for the team we know as DYR. A lot of mixed emotions on DYR. You know, a lot of great guys, but you know what? DYR might not be living up to their expectations, but we'll talk about that later on. All right, back onto the game. Holliston pushing now, again, trying to keep the ball down in the end of Norwood and trying to add to this lead, which, as I said, it's 2-0, but there was Holliston had a lot more opportunities. A couple times they hit the bar, a couple really strong shots that just went wide. So Norwood's got their work cut out for them to try and keep Holliston, to change this momentum and get back in this game. But that's what happens, right? That's all it takes is Norwood to sneak one in, and then all of a sudden that could change the play style. People play a little tenser, right? Just a little more. So that's all Norwood right now is just looking for that goal to kind of get them back into this. Here they come. And then Norwood with a throw down the far end. As we said earlier, today's game is brought to you by sponsored by the Henry Studio, the Holliston Superette, Basil's Pizza and Subs, Central Cafe, and Main Effort Financial. The next the next group that we're going to talk about on this on our broadcast, of course, is Basil's Pizza and Subs. Basil's Pizza and Subs, and again, another institution here in Holliston, particularly for the middle school and high school sports, as Basil's has always been a long-standing place and location for people to go after the game, before the game, getting ready to go to the game. It's like Basil's, they make game food. Claire Fitzgerald sends it forward. Nice ball forward. She got everybody on side. Utke with wheels. Gets almost able to get to it. Nice play by Reagan Cran, able to just get to that ball before Bell Utke could get there. And Utke was moving. Ball bounces out to midfield. Basil's, of course, is run by the Mygos family. Some truly wonderful. Here comes Claire Fitzgerald on the attack. Fitzgerald gets a hold of one just wide of the right post. Fitzgerald is not afraid to come forward. Fitzgerald looks like she's limped a little bit, but looks like she's okay. Fitzgerald kind of all over the field today. The Mygos, Paul and Tina, and then, of course, their children, Charlie and Louie. Always a fun time. Whenever you walk into Basil's, usually 3 or 4, all of them are always there. Always fun to go in there. Their food is absolutely fantastic. And truly, like as I said, a Holliston institution for food here. Basil's is not far from my house, which I like too. Right around the corner. So really, it's easy. It's easy for me to get to. Fantastic pizza, some interesting subs. And, of course, there's the great Greek influence, which of the fantastic, always hearts fall down on the side and no whistle. McCarron went down. Buckley's there, and it's going to be a Holliston throw. So Holliston's still on the attack. Caitlin Clark on the outside. Holliston has some new captains this year, as happens every year. So we have ball forward. Mulvaney chasing, unable to get to it, but earns herself a corner. Captains this year is goalkeeper Kira Lucas, Claire Fitzgerald, the defender. Caitlin Clark, senior right wing. And Hannah Holden. Hannah Holden elected as a captain as a junior. Pretty impressive. Long ball in and just over the goal of the Holliston corner, and it's going to be a goal kick. Caitlin Clark got a little too much of that one. So Holliston with their starters back in. Mulvaney's there. Mulvaney trying to push forward. Mulvaney in traffic. No whistle gets cleared, but Holliston's going to retain possession. Fitzgerald on the outside. She's throwing in. She's got Utke. Good touch. Tries to push it back to Fitzgerald. She's there. Fitzgerald pushes the ball across with her left foot, but there's no one there to receive it. Grant chasing. It's Sophie Grant. She's defending. Pushing up against Megan Malloy. Malloy's out, but McDonald's able to police that up. Skylar McDonald's. McDonald with the first ball. Long ball out. She kicks the ball like her dad hits a softball. McCarron on the outside. McCarron with wheels. McCarron pulls back. Shoots with the left foot. Just out of the... I think Curran got a piece of that. Nice save by Reagan Curran, the keeper. It's going to be another Holliston corner. Looks like Clark's taking this again. Ball across. Nice ball in. McCarron's almost there and almost ball forward. Holden got a strong look, and it was just deflected by the Norwood defender. Holden had a really good look, and McCarron almost caught that in the air. Great ball in by Caitlin Clark. It's going to be a Norwood goal kick. Some new substitutions coming in. McCarron pushes it forward. Holliston trying to get that Mulvaney there on the outside. They get tangled up, and it's going to be a whistle. It's going to be against Norwood. So Holliston's going to have a freebie here. We'll see who's going to take it. Looks like it might be Mulvaney. All right, so Mulvaney in some dangerous territory here for Norwood. And here it goes. Mulvaney, good strike, and scores! Wow! Mulvaney with a dart into the upper right-hand corner of the goal for Holliston's third goal. Lauren Mulvaney from the free kick. She zapped that. Wow. Great shot by Lauren Mulvaney, and really Corinne didn't have a chance. She had way too much pace on that ball. She hammered it. Great shot. So Holliston takes a commanding, very commanding 3-0 lead. The 49th minute. Lauren Mulvaney with a blast. Nobody was stopping that. Ball forward. So Holliston with a commanding 3-0 lead after that last goal by Lauren Mulvaney off the free kick, and Holliston still wants more. Here comes McCarron. McCarron scored the first goal, causing trouble, and here they go. Nice play. Sophie Grant pushes the ball forward. And looks like it's an offsides. So as we said, how the game today is brought to you by 5 sponsors, and we've talked about 3 of them. Number 4 is one of my favorite places here in Holliston, and another iconic Holliston institution is the Central Cafe. So Central Cafe is right there on Central Street, hence the name Central. and also central to the location. But Central Cafe is one of those places that has everything. And Central Cafe is also kind of one of those, like, not really publicized meeting houses for some of these Holliston think tanks. And I know one of my dear friends spends quite a bit of time down at Central Cafe in the morning discussing, issues of the day. That's none other than Ken Sawyer's. Ball across. Oh, just outside of the post. So Holliston banging on the door again. So often he takes some of his, as I said, there's some kind of a think tank like the Rand Corporation, only a little bit smarter. A lot of good coffee talk and discussion down there. Yep, down at Central Cafe, and they have great food, great people. They sell everything, right? They have a full alcohol license, so you can get anything that you need at Central Cafe. They also have ice cream. It's also, I think if I ever win the lottery, it'll be from a ticket from Central Cafe. So I know in the highly unlikely event that I don't win like the Powerball or the Mega Millions, which is, it's not if, it's just when, I'll probably have bought that ticket from Central Cafe. So Central Cafe, Ramses Azir, what a super guy, and has been long ball in, and just crossed the end. So that looked like it wasn't even a shot, but it just popped up and it just hit the left post. Almost went in. Coran, I think, just got a piece of that. But again, it was one of those high fly balls that kind of come in, and they're very hard to judge. Racing on the outside, Ellie Gramforce, she's able to clear it. They're not going to outrun Gramforce. So Norwood trying to push the ball in. As I said, Central Cafe, Ramses Azir is super guy. And a big proponent of Holliston. Here's Holliston forward. There's Mulvaney. Mulvaney on the outside. Nice cuts inside. Shoots. Long shot in. And Moran's able to scoop it up. Mulvaney's trying to get a second one here after the one she zapped in from the free kick. So Holliston 3-0. Trying and succeeding at kind of stuffing this Norwood attack. Norwood has really had a tough time getting anything going down in the Holliston end. So we talked earlier about the Holliston Hub. Holliston Hub is, of course, the artist formerly known as HCAT. So the Holliston Hub is a nonprofit organization, and it is the center of all things news and media here in Holliston. That's how I like to describe it. I've been fortunate and lucky enough to be able to be a part of the Holliston Hub for some time. And it's one of those things that people they know it's there, and they see it, and they're in some way, shape, or form. Probably everybody in Holliston has some connection to HCAT or the Holliston Hub. So the Holliston Hub, as I said, we're in a position as a long ball in, long shot in, and McDonald's able to control it. Is that the thing about the Holliston Hub is that we are, as I said, a nonprofit organization, and most of the operating revenue that comes that we get in order to run our operation, in order for Bruce to run his operation here at the Holliston Hub, comes from cable television. So hence the Holliston Cable Access TV. In the kind of twilight of cable television, as cable television becomes less and less popular, people are saying, you see everybody cutting the cable. So what that does is that actually lowers the income stream for these local access cable access TV stations, and they're unable to manage. So we've started, which is all part of the Holliston Hub's kind of rebranding. We started a campaign. It's an ongoing fundraising campaign in order to sustain operations here at the Holliston Hub, and be able to continue to bring you all of this fantastic programming. And we're talking programming on all different types, all different levels. And Bruce Guilfoyle and his staff do such a fantastic job of just keeping everybody connected to the community. Holliston with a corner kick. McCarron just gets her head on it, but doesn't get enough on it, and it pops out. It's going to be a goal kick. So things like being able to see the high school sports, being able to see school events, musicals, like the musical performances, all of the government meetings, to include like the really exciting, select board meetings and town meetings, all the things that everybody loves to know, but they're important because if you want to see them, you can go to Holliston Cable Access or to Holliston Hub's website. You can go to Holliston Hub's YouTube page, and you can see all that, and you can stay current on everything that's going on here in Holliston. The other thing is how we have some tremendous wonderful programming, a whole laundry list of fantastic programs that innovative and just keep people, things like the heartbeat of Holliston, which keeps everybody, long shot in, and McDonald's going to chase it. It's going to go way wide of the goal. Things where just to keep everybody, to bring out kind of just the nuances and like the things that make Holliston so unique and so special. So Holliston Hub is right in the middle of it, and they're the ones who are able to bring you all of this in video form, whether it be on the TV on the TV station, whether it be on their YouTube channel, seeing live sports like this. All of this happens because of Holliston Hub. So we need your help. We need your help, and we're asking. We want everybody in town who wants to be able to keep this going. We're going to need your help. Not unlike, like NPR or anything like this. It's no different. So the Holliston, if you want to donate to the Holliston, go to hcattv.org, right? hcattv.org is our website. As the ball comes across, almost be able to get a piece of it. So Norwood's trying to knock on the door, now down 3. But yeah, if you go to hcattv.org, you'll be able to find information on how you can help Holliston Hub. And of course, we're looking for donations of any size. The bigger the better. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. If you want to keep this going, then the more the merrier. But also, one of the things that we operate with is volunteers. Believe it or not, I know many of you think that I've been paid for this, and I often joke that I do, but no. This is part of volunteer work, and there's a lot of people like me that are and believe me, I get way more out of this than you could ever pay me, but because I get to listen to myself talk for 2 hours. But volunteers to help support the Holliston Hub through programming, through coming up with ideas, through developing new programs. All of that stuff, it happens through volunteers. I mean, Bruce and his staff, they do a great job, but the more help they can get. So if you want to volunteer and be part of all this and get to be on TV or get to be part of creating a new TV program or a new short TV episode or a public service announcement, anything, come and volunteer. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. I've been part of Holliston. I've been part of HCAT and Holliston Hub now for probably 20 years now, and it's really, really been one of the most fun and rewarding things that I've been able to do since I moved into town. Okay, back to the game. No change so far with a goal kick coming out for Norwood. And Norwood again. Holliston spending so much time down here. Arsenal comes out, and she's in a crowd, but almost able to get a nice play by the Norwood defender. And Arsenal earns a Holliston corners. Here we go again. Looks like Clark's going to take this one again. Or is it Holden? Looks like Holden. Some substitutions coming out in the corner, which I don't get. Substitutions on the corner. That's the thing. Yeah. When I first was learning about soccer, all right, here comes Holden. Long ball. It's high. Over the head of McCarron. Utke's there. She pushes it out. There's a shot in from distance. Took that shot. That looked like that was Hand Souza. Souza took that shot. It was in the game, number 10. So Souza, when she gets in, she's like, I'm going to start shooting. She had a good shot. It's a little bit too far. Fitzgerald looks forward and Holliston's playing offsides. So as we're ending the 60th minute, Holliston leads 3-0. Norwood free kick sends it forward. Over there to Holden. And looks like offside called on Norwood. Coach Chadsey trying to get everybody. I like the idea of kind of giving your keeper a rest, letting McDonald see some real minutes. Bringing some of her freshmen, some other. Looks like there's number 19, Olivia Kirchner's in, freshman for Holliston on the left-hand side. So giving everybody some game time speed. Here comes Fitzgerald. Speaking of game time speed, Fitzgerald on the outside gets around. Fitzgerald trying to spin back in. Can't get a hold of it. Still has it. Fitzgerald gets through, gets a ball across, and no one's there. Fitzgerald with a fight all the way down, and looked like she might be hurt. So Fitzgerald not getting up, and I don't know if she fell down and hit her head. So Claire Fitzgerald down with a nice move and very strong push into the outside, able to get that ball across the face of the goal, and nothing. Training staff, Coach Chadsey coming out to check on Fitzgerald as she's still down. So for the injury timeout, teams are they'll huddle up and start talking about some of their, see if Hope Fitzgerald is okay. Here in Holliston, the girls' soccer has been a decisive force since we've been calling and streaming the games. We've had one state championship, which was of course the 2018 state championship, and Holliston's always been competitive, and looks like Fitzgerald is just getting up. Always been competitive, and looks like Fitzgerald's going to be okay. As we said earlier, she's not allowed to get hurt because she's part of the Holliston Community Action Fund, and as well as a captain here on the Holliston Panthers. So looks like she might have just got shaken up. She's walking off under her own power, so that's a good sign. So as I said, Holliston is, we've been fortunate to see Holliston be very successful. A great program since Coach Brielle Chadsey has taken over as the head coach, and it's been a great journey for this program, and really, and the boys as well. The Holliston boys have done exceptionally well during that time period. But just a great tribute, especially for girls soccer, and a great tribute to the Holliston Youth Soccer Association, that program that's kind of developed all these kids. And I was lucky to be a part of that for many years, to see just to be able to see all the effort and all of the work that parents, volunteers did to kind of make Holliston soccer what it is today. And this is kind of like this is the coup de grace. Ball across, almost there. Great play by the keeper. She came out, timed that perfectly, and that was going to be nothing but net if one of the Holliston players that were on that attack were able to get a foot to it. So Reagan Coran is earning her money today, although she's down 3-0. She's had nothing but trouble from the Holliston attack. So Norwood trying to work something up that left-hand side. Sophie Grant has something to say about it. Souza's there. McElliott's there. There's Grant. Oh, no, that's McElliott, correction. McElliott gets back to her, and she's going to try and clear it back. She pushes it back to McDonald. McDonald one time forward, looking for Arsenault. She can't get it. The other Arsenault's there. Here comes Buckley on the outside, trying to turn it, and she does. Buckley forward doesn't have anybody. She was looking for Emerson Arsenault, but she not wide enough. So up front, right now we have Emma Arsenault, and who's number 5, and Emerson Arsenault is number 2 for Holliston. Norwood throw gets picked off. Olivia Kirchner's on the outside. And once again, Grandforge is there. Put a stop to that. Grandforge is also a member of the Holliston Community Action Fund. All right, it's going to be a free kick. Norwood free. Ball in. Cleared by Holliston. That was Ashley Salazar Silvera. She's able to clear it. For Norwood, there's Buckley. Buckley pushed it forward, but it's going to go out. Chloe Buckley, sophomore. So the whole sophomore back. There's McElliott on the outside. Chase McElliott's doing a good job. There's Buckley. And it's going to go out. It's going to be a Norwood corner. So Norwood taking a corner here in the 65th minute. Holliston still leading 3-0. Let's see if Norwood can give themselves something to cheer. Norwood does they have their corner kick play, but it kind of comes in from that just outside the 18. Ball across, it hops. Oh, and she almost is able to turn it. Nice play. Got on goal, but it was sent out by a Holliston player, so we're going to do it all over again. Can't tell who's taking the corner for Norwood. Here we go. Ball up. This time it hops again. Goes right in front of the goal, but it looks like somebody got a piece of it. I'm not sure. Holliston player. And here comes Holden. Turns back into traffic. Pushes it back to McDonald to try and clear. Not a bad play. McDonald sends it forward. Talking about old man softball and players. Mentioned Keira Lucas, of course. Keira Lucas's dad, excellent softball player. Well, I mean, excellent. He doesn't embarrass himself. No, he's a very good softball player, and of course was a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, which makes him one of my arch rivals. Yet, guys in the Army were always a little bit envious of the Air Force guys. We talked about this before because the Air Force guys were a lot smarter than the Army guys because they lived in nice places whenever you went overseas. It was weird. They always had better stuff than we did. So it would be good to make friends with the Air Force guys, especially if you wanted to use a nice clean bathroom or maybe get a nice hot meal. The Air Force, they took care of their own. And Brad Lucas, he'll attest to that. All right, so Holliston trying to put together. We have some more substitutions come back in. Looks like some of the starters are back in. Give them a little bit more run. See if they can put something else here. As Holliston with the commanding lead, 3-0. I don't think Coach Chadsy's worried too much right now about the loss, but I think she wants to play. There's McCarron in traffic, and last thing you want is to have Kate McCarron get hurt. And long ball forward. It's going to be a foot race. McElliott's there. McElliott makes a nice play. Is able to kind of thwart that, and McDonald comes up with it. Good run by Nara McElliott. Ball forward. McDonald's there. McDonald's able to make the play. Unfortunately, like this is when Norwood's just unable to crack that Holliston defense. It turns into kind of like a slugfest where they're going to try and launch the ball forward, see if they get something, some Holliston defender or goalkeeper to make a mistake. Hard contact there, but Norwood player's still down, and she's still down. So some hard incidental contact. It wasn't anything. But there was a collision out there. It looked like that was number 18, Lauren Plant, but not sure if that was her or Kushner. Norwood player, hard to see her number. But she's looks like she's up and leaving under her own power. I think she looks like she's going to be okay. Coach Deneen. Looks like he's got things under control, and we're back in action. Norwood trying to push forward, trying to get something. The Holliston defenders, that sophomore crew back there, led by McGelly, are doing it. Here comes McCarron. McCarron in space. She gets a step and push it past her, and Kate McCarron gets an easy breakaway goal. Another one. McCarron's so fast and so good with the ball. All it takes is just one step, and then she gets a step on that defender, and then it's her in the goal. So McCarron scores her second goal of the game in the 69th minute, bringing Holliston to lead of 4-0. Yeah, Kate McCarron just so fast and able to control the ball, and goalkeeper just doesn't really have a chance on that unless McCarron missteps, and she just doesn't do it often. So McCarron again, almost an easy looking goal for the fourth one for Holliston. So 11 minutes remaining, and Holliston looks like they have this one pretty much locked up. And McCarron, she's not afraid to go get more, and that's kind of the way it is. Holden shot, and that's, that was Mulvaney. So now Mulvaney's back at it, and Mulvaney hit that one as hard as she did, so that ball goes in the top left-hand corner. Holliston scores again. So Holliston is making a run on this right now. Fifth goal of the game, second for Mulvaney. And Mulvaney had just nothing but pace on that. So Holliston with a commanding lead. Now 5-0. So this is probably a good bounce back game for Holliston after, like I said, a couple early tough losses. So Holliston coming back and kind of putting things together here at home. The first home game that we get to see. As we said, there's a bit of a bee problem here, and I'm sure some of us are allergic. I don't really like bees. McDonald with a goal kick out. 10 minutes left in this game. Holliston leads 5-0 on two quick goals by Kate McCarron and Lauren Mulvaney. And McCarron, here comes McCarron again. McCarron in space. McCarron's got another look and sends it, and there it is. So now McCarron's just kind of toying with them. So Kate McCarron scores again in the 71st minute. So McCarron gets her hat trick. And Holliston leads 6-0. And it looks like Coach Chadzy's going to probably put some substitutions in now and maybe give some of these guys a break. Maybe give Norwood a break. So between Kate McCarron and Lauren Mulvaney, they have five of the 6 goals of Holliston, with Bella Oudke having the 6th. So Holliston is got this one wrapped up. And these are the times, we've all kind of seen these games. We've all kind of seen these one-sided games. And it's a good opportunity for both teams work on some things that they may not necessarily work on at game speed. High pop-up. So from a coaching standpoint, we always would try and take advantage of these situations in the sense that if we were the team on the, unfortunately, on the losing side of a lopsided or of a one-sided game, then we try to work on some little things, with against talented players, and we'd look for kind of small victories to be able to kind of move the ball, put together some combinations, maybe able to work to try and score a goal, like work hard and stay focused and try and do things that to improve on some of the on some of our fundamentals. And then the same goes if you're the team that is the kind of on the higher end of this lopsided score. This is a great opportunity for you to start working on, everybody knows that you can do a breakaway goal. They're pretty easy to, once you figure that out and you're up 6-0. So now it's time to start working on moving the ball, reversing fields, playing back to your keeper, trying to control the ball. And those are the kind of things that we like to see, because you get to do it at game speed, and it's different than practice. It's different than scrimmages. When you're on the field in the game and you're wearing that uniform, things happen. Things feel differently. So if you're working on fundamentals and you have the opportunity at 10 minutes to do that, it's a great time to do it. From an individual player all the way up to like a collective defense, maybe working the ball in and out of your midfield, and a lot of good soccer left to be seen here today. Buckley on the outside. Buckley's played a really, really solid game on that right side. Holliston defense have done well. Obviously, Norwood has a failed score, but really hasn't had a chance. Hasn't really put any threat. Save maybe a couple of opportunities, but the Holliston defense and the credit to that Holliston midfield too. As we said, they really strong in the middle. Keep that ball forward. Keep that ball kind of out of those dangerous places where things can happen and goals can get scored against you. So Plant on the outside. She sends the ball forward, and that is unfortunately a handball, but that is what it is. She probably did a good job because that ball was going forward, and it looked like it was more off to the races. Racing up top. That's Emerson Arsenal, the junior. Emerson, she's trying to get a hold of it, and there's a collision up there, and it looks like it's going to be a Holliston throw. No. It's going to be a Holliston corner. Clark's taking that corner, this time from the right side. There it goes. High ball in. Almost gets to Souza. Here comes Norwood trying to counter. Plant's there, good speed. McDonald comes way out and is able to clear it. It's a good heads-up play by Skylar McDonald to come out. That ball goes south, and Holliston throw. Just under 6 remaining. Sedona Cicarella's in the game right now. Number 15. She has the ball come to her, and we have another injury. It looks like another Norwood player. It looks like she's the player down, and looks like her leg hurts. Sophie Grant coming over to take a look. And she's back in the game. She's okay. She's going to take the free kick. All right. She'll test this leg out right now, see how this feels. It's a little stiff, but see if she can put this in a place where somebody can do something with it. Ball up, low, bounces. Still in front of the Holliston net, and gets cleared. Ball across right there. Nice play. Great play by Skylar McDonald. Was able to get a hand of that. That ball came across, and there was a Norwood player there ready to finish that. And it's going to be another Norwood corner. Under 5 remaining. Here it is. Norwood cornered long. Good ball in. She gets a head on it, and there's McDonald. Nice play by McDonald again. Good strike. Good one-time header. And McDonald read it perfectly and was able to get her hands on it and clear it. McDonald long ball up. And off to the races. Here it is. By herself. Clark hits the post. Ball comes back. Utke's there. Caitlin Clark on a breakaway. Her in the goal. Sends a hard ball and hits the right post. That was bad luck. Hard luck, as my father-in-law would say. Hard luck. So Clark almost had a chance to put her first goal of the game. And comes up just a little wide right. Not that far. So as we're winding down, let's review our who our sponsors were for this game. So the fall sports sponsor for the 2025 season, none other than the Henry Studio and Rich Powers, the Holliston Superette and Chris Lancini, Basil's Pizza and Subs with the Mygos family, Central Cafe, Ramsey's Azir, and then, of course, Main Effort Financial, which I happen to have a connection with Main Effort Financial, as I happen to work there. I've been working there for a number of years, so, and you see those guys around town. So thank you very much for our Holliston sports sponsors. Again, all of that, and as we talked about earlier, all of that and all of your donations and all of your support for the Holliston Hub is what enables us to be able to bring you these games and all the great programming and keep you in tune as to what's happening here in Holliston. I'll tell you what's happening right here is your Holliston Panthers are looking sharp today against Norwood. And Norwood, as I said, Norwood is, a young team. Hard work, have some good skill players, but Holliston was just a little bit too much today. Their attack was, from the beginning. There's ball across. From the beginning, Holliston, Coach Chadsey made an effort to keep that ball forward. She was bringing up her backs. I saw a lot of Claire Fitzgerald coming up from the back. A lot of Chloe Buckley coming up from the back. So that was all kind of part of the plan. And, of course, some strong play in the midfield with Ellie Grandforce, Hannah Holden. And then up front, they were just too much. Between McCarran and Mulvaney, Caitlin Clark, way too much for Norwood to handle today. So as we're winding down, Holliston with a big win, and these are the kind of games, if you know that if you're a little bit in a different place than the team you're playing, it's good to have a good commanding win. Saw a lot of good things, some good ball movement, especially ball movement up front. Finish, Holliston scored 6 goals. That's not nothing to shake a stick at. So finishing is important in soccer. As you can have all the great plays and all the great passes, but if that ball doesn't go in the net, it really doesn't matter when it's all said and done. Utke scored the second goal of the game. She sends it forward. Arsenal's there. Norwood's still pushing, takes a shot, and it's wide, and McDonald's going to let that one hit her hand, and it's going to be a Norwood corner. We're getting close to wrapping this up. So, before we do, special thanks to it's good to be back, right? Bruce and Lindsay making this as fun as it is. Like I said, our keeper's up. That's Grandma. Oh, here we go. We have an empty goal. Riley Whitehead's got the ball. She sends it, and she scores. So in the open net, as the game's closing to an end, Riley Whitehead, the freshman, is able to get the breakaway. As Norwood brought their keeper out, and Whitehead's able to send it in from about 35 yards out. And Holliston's 7th goal of the game. And that's kind of what if you're going to pull the goalie, you're kind of asking for it. So in the 79th minute, we'll say, Whitehead scores, the freshman, her first. I'm imagining that that's her first goal of the season, and first goal of her Holliston high school career, and that's it. So big home opener. Well, home opener for the Holliston Hub. Calling this game. Holliston defeats the Norwood Mustangs today by a score of 7-0. So all of you who are listening to us live, especially from people out in places like Arizona and Connecticut and Florida, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Holliston Girls Varsity Soccer right here from Kamitian Field. Thanks for joining us, and on behalf of Bruce and Lindsay, I'm John Drohan. Thank you for joining us here on the Holliston Hub for Holliston Girls Varsity Soccer.